This is what it looks like every time. This is what it looks like when you have 3 batteries for a camera and all 3 of them are dead. I've been waiting 40 minutes for just one of my 3 camera batteries to charge, and I just walked into a spider web and stepped in a giant pile of horse poop in flip-flops. So really failing hard. Let go. Trying to see where, can I sit on these pallets? Can you see me if I keep my head like right? No. Can you see me now? The sun is terrible. Okay. Full 360 and the sun is still absolutely awful. How's this? I think I'm looking at the camera. You get the cows in the background. If you are watching this video because you have a new piglet that is under 6 weeks old, I'm going to offer you the best advice I can here. I get this question all the time in the comments and it kind of gives me anxiety, honestly. I'll get into that in a minute. The best advice I can offer you, go to the vet right now and pretty much every day between now and when your piglet is 6 weeks old. The end. But in all seriousness, I really hate making this video, frankly. I hate giving advice on this topic. My blood kind of boils. I get very angry. Basically, my stance on the entire issue is I think that any breeder or owner or whatever that is willing to separate a piglet that is under 6 weeks old from its mother should be in jail for animal cruelty. They are 100% endangering the health and ultimately, you're really interrupting me a lot, ultimately the life of that pig. Now I know a lot of people come to me saying that the breeder's claim was that the mother pig abandoned the piglets or rejected them, or maybe she passed away. Here to tell you, I see this all the time and it is not happening that often. This is a very common scam used by breeders to pull at the heartstrings of potential owners, first of all, but also so that they can make their money even faster, get rid of the pig even faster, and breed the mother again even faster. If it is a rare situation where perhaps it actually did happen, and for one reason or another, the piglets need to be cared for by a person, the breeder should absolutely assume that responsibility. In no world is it justifiable that they pass it along to somebody else. If they don't have the time to devote to those piglets, should an incident like that occur, they shouldn't be breeding to start with. That's just the truth. It happens occasionally. It is a risk that is assumed in breeding, and you need to be held completely 100% accountable and not pass that terrible responsibility along to someone else. If the breeder is giving it to you for free, I still don't agree with it, because in most cases they're giving this piglet to someone that doesn't have any pig experience, and so its odds are decreased, but at least they're not charging you, they're not making money off of this unfortunate event. Do not buy them. Absolutely do not pay $1 for a piglet that is less than 6 weeks old. If you have found yourself in this situation, I know it happens, and I have to remind myself not to be angry with the owners, because it happens so often that you start to think it must be okay. And in all actuality, when compared to like a puppy or kitten, pigs are 10, possibly 20 times more likely to pass away when they're taken away from mom. There just isn't a good simulation for pig mom milk like there is for puppies and kittens. I try really hard not to become angry with owners. I think most of the time they just didn't know better. However, it is fairly easy to find this information out if you Google it. Also, I've had a lot of people come here, and don't get me wrong, I love being able to share my pig knowledge. I love being able to answer your questions, share what I've learned, do everything I can to help not only support new pig parents, but in turn to help provide their pigs with happier lives. It's just a dream come true. I can't even tell you, being a pig lover like I am. It's also really hard for me because I try hard to answer every comment I get, pig related or not, both here and on Instagram. And if I go a day without being able to check my comments, I kind of start to lose sleep and panic, because I've had so many people turn to my comment section with emergency pig related questions that I start to feel responsible and And if 2 days pass and I see a question where someone, tells me their pig is sick, what do they do? Or tells me that they've just adopted a very young piglet, what do they feed it? How do they take care of it? Like, even just thinking about it, I get so much anxiety over this. Don't turn to me. I'm not a vet. Don't come to me with that kind of question. I love pigs so much, and it just hurts my heart to think that by offering up my advice and information and becoming kind of a pig resource, that I've potentially endangered some pigs. I'm going to link below one of the best sites I found with information regarding how to take care of a young piglet. The terrible, heartbreaking statistic is the odds of its survival are very slim. And that is assuming that it's even being cared for by a vet round the clock, 24 hours, monitored, hospitalization, all of that. It still has a very low chance of survival. They can make it. And if you are personally someone that has been successful, that's amazing. And I'm overjoyed to hear it. But the truth of the matter is that's not common. That's not the norm. So prepare yourself for that. If they do make it, a lot of times they have health issues throughout the rest of their life. Their immune system has been compromised. They've not gotten the nutrients they need from the beginning. And that just kind of sets them up for a life of those kinds of issues. I'm still kind of on the fence about how much information to offer here. Even myself, when I've tried rescuing young piglets, I don't have a high success rate. So the information that I do have may not be the best, and I feel like it changes all the time. So I am constantly reaching out to medical professionals and finding new resources and all of that. The few pieces of information I can give you: do not feed them any kind of human milk. The only products that are safe for piglets would be goat's milk, not the powdered stuff, the fresh stuff. You'd be surprised, you can find it at Walmart. Most grocery stores have it. So you want the refrigerated fresh goat milk. The other option is a multi-species milk powder, which you can find at a lot of feed stores. And in some cases, kind of a mixture of both. At a certain age, you can start mixing in baby rice cereal, which will help with their digestive issues that may arise, which is probably the biggest killer in mini pigs, is because there's no great replica for mom's milk, and their digestive systems are still so sensitive. The majority of them end up dying from GI issues, diarrhea, E. coli, things like that. There is a product called, I think it's Scour Check, which I always like to have on hand just in case I take in a piglet that has diarrhea. You'll have to check with a vet on your correct dosage, but I have had that help. I have personally seen that help save a piglet. Keep them very warm. They don't make their own body heat, and they have very little fur or hair, so they need to be kept warm. They really need care round the clock, no exceptions. So if you like to sleep or go to work or go to school, you're not going to be able to take care of the piglet like it needs, and you should probably find somebody else. In most cases, giving them a bottle can be dangerous. I know it's adorable to see bottle baby piglets, but especially in the mini ones. Now, farm ones are a little different. It's a little easier to bottle feed a larger pig, but with the minis, the smallest amount of liquid can go down the wrong tube, get into their respiratory system, and cause pneumonia. And that is, the odds of that happening are drastically increased when they're being bottle fed. You can teach a piglet that's 24 hours old to drink from a saucer. I've done it by using makeup sponges, the little triangle shaped makeup sponges. I'll soak it in the milk, and they'll usually latch onto it like they would a bottle. So they'll latch onto the triangle part, and then I will just kind of slowly, while they're sucking on it, guide it down into the pan, or usually I use like a Tupperware lid, something very shallow, until the sponge has kind of dropped into the lid. And then as they continue to suck on the sponge, they start sucking up the milk from the lid, and slowly over time, they'll learn to just get rid of the sponge entirely and just drink from the saucer, the lid itself. I have a ton of other advice, and like I said, I'm reluctant about how much to give because I'm not an expert, and ultimately I don't want to encourage people to get pigs this age. I feel very strongly that it shouldn't be a thing at all. 6 weeks at the minimum, 8 weeks is even better. You want your piglet to be eating at least mostly solid food, watering it down, still, including little goat's milk or a little yogurt. I will do that with some of my pigs until they're like 6 months old. I'll still give them baby rice cereal. I'll still warm up their food now and then. It lets me know that they're getting all of the liquids that they need and staying hydrated and all of that. But I know that they can 100% eat solid, regular food on their own if needed. Okay, that's my rant. I just see it so often. I've debated addressing it. I don't want to come off as judgmental or preachy or any of that kind of stuff, but ultimately I decided to make this video because it is in the best interest of the piglets And if I have upset you or offended you, if you were a person who's left that question in my comments, I hope that I answered in a timely manner. I hope that your pig is doing well. We've all made, you know, mistakes now and then. No animal owner is perfect. Hopefully from this video going forward, I will be able to help educate people and help avoid that happening. Like I said, I do try to answer all of the comments here and on my Instagram. I don't use Twitter very often, but it's out there. I appreciate everybody who does reach out to me. I value anyone who trusts my opinion enough to ask questions. So please don't feel hesitant or reluctant to do that because of this video. I don't want to discourage it at all. Just in those situations where a vet is the better source, go there, not to me. I can't handle that responsibility. All right, that's all. I am going to be giving you a tour of my, what I think is kind of amazing rabbit enclosure. Hopefully in my next video. I'm waiting on a few items to arrive still, but I worked really hard on it. I'm proud of it. My rabbit loves it. So if you are not already, just be sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications so that you can tour Wolpertinger, my rabbit's home, in the next video. Why is it so pretty in the fall? If you spot the animal that I probably won't be introducing to you for the next month because she's still being rehabbed, don't tell anybody what it is. It's our secret, but it's there.